So what does Stephen King say about writing? Okay, you should write every day. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to write every day. Every day. What's up, my fellow scribe? Tim here. Welcome back to the channel. I am focusing on my failures as an author. I'm going back and examining these failures because, well, I don't want to make them anymore. And I figured I'd bring you along on my journey. If you'd like to get a proper start to this series, there'll be a link in the cards above. Today I'm going over my 6th biggest failure. Can you guess what it is? Write every day. If you followed this channel for a while, you know I love write every day. It's my #1 piece of writing advice. Simple. Every writer needs to write every day. Well, try writing every day. I am very much aware this does not work for everyone. And this is because it has great benefits. Especially if you do not take it literally. Like I did for many years. I'm almost certain Stephen King is where I first heard this advice. I do know others have said it as well, but I want to say guarantee, but I can't, that King was where I first heard it. And it is because of King is how I define it. To me, write every day means you write prose, nothing else. Which makes sense for King since he wrote organically.
I, however, do not.
Because of this, I would try to find ways to write every day. I have no clue how many projects I started so I could write daily. And sure enough, I abandoned those projects because they weren't developed enough for me. I would eventually come across author and fellow AuthorTuber Chris Fox, who helped me see the light. He mentioned, and I believe it was in one of his books, that developing your project was in fact writing. My eyes were open. Fortunately, it didn't quite sink in right away. Writing prose was not the only interpretation I had of write every day. Like most new writers, when they hear a catchy title for some writing advice,
you take it literal.
Show don't tell means you show, you never, ever tell. That's not what show don't tell means. As a literalist, taking the advice literal, write every day means you wrote every day. No days off, no breaks.
None.
I've already mentioned all the projects I would start to do this, but the real problem was the guilt I would feel when I didn't write and being reminded of it. So I like to track my words I write daily for many reasons. This little nugget came from Randy Ingermanson.
You know, the snowflake guy.
The whole point of tracking your output was so you know how long it took you to write a draft. This way, you could tell a publisher if you can make a deadline that they gave you. And yes, this was before indie publishing was a thing. When I wrote the first draft of Marx Valera, I found I could write about 80,000 words in 30 days. Impressive, right? Well, sure, those 30 days was over a 6-month period. And this is where the guilt came in. Most of those 6 months, I wasn't writing, and I would feel guilty about it. It only got worse when I would look at my spreadsheet and see all the blank spots of days I didn't write, reinforcing my failure to write every day. It never even crossed my mind that sometimes you do need to take breaks, especially when you write until you have nothing left in the tank. Write every day is great advice, so long as you make it fit your workflow,
Not trying to fit someone else's into yours.
Stephen King writes prose every day because he's a pantser. I'm an outliner. I'm still writing, just differently. This still hasn't sunken in even after a few years. And while I do still feel guilty not writing every day, it's nowhere as bad as it used to be. But when I am writing a novel, I do my best to write every day. If I only learned this lesson sooner, some of my failures, such as rushing, may have not been so bad or even happen. You made it to the end of this video, so why don't you go and smash that like button and subscribe. Do you want to know what the best writing tool ever is? Click the video to my right, your left to find out. Thanks for watching. Bye.